Annihilation.
Annihilation. Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Annihilation.
1 minute at a time.
We are the hollow men. We are the stuffed men, leaning together, headpiece filled with straw. Alas, our dried voices when we whisper together are quiet and meaningless as wind in dry grass, or rat's feet over broken glass in our dry cellar.
He's really out there.
Shape without form, shade without color, paralyzed force, gesture without motion.
Shapes without form, shades without color, paralyzed force, gesture without motion, without motion.
Those who have crossed with direct eyes to death's other kingdom, remember us, if at all, not as lost, violent souls, but only as the hollow men, the stuffed men. Eyes I dare not meet in dreams, in death's dream kingdom, these do not appear. There the eyes are. Sunlight on a broken column, there is a tree swinging, and voices are in the winds singing, more distant and more solemn than a fading star. Let me be no nearer in death's dream kingdom. Let me also wear such deliberate disguises, rat's coat, crow skin, cross staves, in a field, behaving as the wind behaves, no nearer. Not that final meeting in the Twilight Kingdom. This is the Dead Land. This is Cactus Land. Here the stone images are raised. Here they receive the supplication of a dead man's hand under the twinkle of a fading stalk. Is it like this in Death's other kingdom? Waking alone at the hour where we are, trembling with tenderness, lips that would kiss, form prayers to broken stone. The eyes are not here. There are no eyes here. In this valley of dying stars, in this hollow valley, this broken jaw of our lost kingdoms, in this last of meeting places, we grope together and avoid speech, gathered on this beach of this tumid river, sightless unless the eyes reappear as the perpetual star, multifoliate rose of death's twilight kingdom, the hope only of empty men. Here we go round to prickly pear, prickly pear, prickly pear. Here we go round to prickly pear at 5 o'clock in the morning. Between the idea and the reality, between the motion and the act, falls the shadow. For thine is the kingdom. Between the conception and the creation, between the emotion and the response, falls the shadow. Life is very long. Between the desire and the spasm, between the potency and the existence, between the essence and the descent, falls the shadow. For thine is the kingdom. For thine is, life is. For thine is the, this is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. T.S. Eliot, The Hollow Men. Villeperdu, a village evacuated 2 years ago, overgrown, and occupied, it seems, by topiary people, plants in the form of residents, frozen in time. Thorensen is troubled, raging mostly inside her own head. Ventress barely seems fazed by any of it. Only Lena and Radek have taken a direct interest. Radek has just said that light in the shimmer is being refracted. Then she bent down and has now pulled out her radio. She rises, turning it on. The noise from it is strange, unidentifiable. Radek continued. It's the same with the radios. Angle on Ventress. Close. Serious. But I do not get the impression that she is worried. Radek continued, off screen. The signals aren't gone. The script says, through the static fuzz there are sounds, pulses, soft distorted tones that rise and fall. Angle on Radek, medium. Radek continued. They're scrambled. Radek switches the radio off, and she sets it down. The script says she shifts her gaze to Lena, but she does more than this. She takes steps away from the topiary couple and toward where Lena is, out of frame. She raises a hand and points casually. Radek continued.
That leaf in your hand. Do you know what you'd get if you sequenced it?
Angle on Lena from her right, close. Lena, what? Angle on Radek. In the script, Radek says, Hawks, Pax 6. Which would be inappropriate, but we will get to that in a moment. In the film, she says,
Human Hawks genes.
Angle on Thorensen and Ventress. In the script, this line is Ventress's, but she has gone back to being unconcerned, snacking on something. Thorensen. Hawks? What does Hawks mean? Back to Lena. Lena. They're the genes that define the body plan. The physical structure. In the script, she also says, but in animals, not plants. According to Paul Hunt, writing in Development Biology, 1998, quote, Hawks genes were first identified in the fruit fly, Drosophila, and their role is best understood in this organism. Mutations that either prevent Hawks genes from functioning or cause them to be expressed abnormally result in changes in body form that imply an alteration in its overall organization. The most spectacular changes of this type result in the transformation of one body structure to another, for instance, the conversion of an antenna to a leg. Such an alteration in body structure is known as homeotic transformation, and the genes able to cause it, homeotic genes. End quote. Homeotic because William Bateson, who first identified and discovered such transformations in 1894, called this biological variation homeosis. Thomas R. Berglund explains, in Brenner's Encyclopedia of Genetics, 2013, quote, the term homeosis was coined over 100 years ago to describe biological variation where something has been changed into the likeness of something else. In the pioneering work on the genetics of Drosophila, the first homeotic mutations were described. These mutations lead to transformations of particular body regions in the fly. For example, a segment is transformed so that it resembles a neighboring segment. This will also cause changes in the appendages of segments, such as halter to wing transformations. Homeotic mutations have also been described in plants, often in the context of flower development. End quote. These Hawks genes can be found in what is called the homeobox. Specifically, according to Berglund and Marcus Affelter, Chromosoma, 13th October 2015, quote, the homeobox was originally discovered as a shared sequence element of about 180 BP in homeotic genes in Drosophila melanogaster, which gave rise to its name. Soon, it was realized that this motif was also conserved in vertebrates, and the first vertebrate homeobox gene was cloned from Xenopus laevis by Andres Carrasco and colleagues in the laboratory of Eddie de Robertis. We now know that in animals there are usually around 100 homeobox genes in protostome species. Most vertebrates have about 250 homeobox genes, due to 2 extra rounds of genome duplication and subsequent loss of paralogs. End quote. Pax 6, which Radek specifically mentions in the script, however, has to do with the development of eyes and other sensory organs, not limbs. According to Jinjin Zhu, Sneha Paliyil, Chen Ran, and Justin P. Kumar, Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America, 5th June 2017, quote, paired box 6, Pax 6, is considered to be the master control gene for eye development in all seeing animals studied so far. In vertebrates, it is required not only for lens and retina formation, but also for the development of the CNS, olfactory system, and pancreas. End quote. For limbs, Radek should have suggested a DLX gene, not Pax. Second 28, we return to that strange angle on Radek and the plants from last minute. Stranger now because the topiary couple is left of Radek again when she just walked toward Lena, which would now be to the right. Radek should not be as close to the couple as she is. She is next to the woman with one step, and as she speaks, she reaches out, pointing, but not touching. Radek.
And the plants have human body plan arms attached to shoulders, legs, to hips.
Angle on Lena, camera higher than before, looking down on her. Lena is trying to collect her thoughts, mind racing. In the script she says, no, they're just simulacra. like a stick insect or chameleon. What you're saying is simply not possible. In the film,
It's literally not possible.
She raises her left hand to her mouth, presses against it. Back to the weird reverse angle on Radek. In the script, she says, "None of this is possible, Lena, but it's what's happening." In the film, as she walks toward Lena and the others, though they are out of frame and this weird angle makes it unclear,
It's literally what's happening.
Second 43, angle on Radek, close, and the couple and the jungle gym are behind her now, so the cinematic geography is back to normal. Radek stops walking, left of center, facing left. Her attention is out of frame. Radek continued.
The shimmer is a prism, but it refracts
everything.
everything.
Angle on Lena, hand to forehead now. She does not like what Radek is saying, even if maybe it makes some sort of sense. Radek continued off screen.
Not just light and radio waves.
Back to Radek. Radek continued.
Animal DNA, plant DNA,
Radek hesitates.
all DNA.
Second 57, back to Thorensen. The script says, Thorensen interrupts, overwhelmed by confusion and frustration. In the script she said, "Stop. Just stop talking science. Speak English. What do you mean, all DNA?" Cut to Ventress, but before she can steal Lena's response from the script, time runs out for this minute.
We spoke. What was it we said?
Wordlessly watching, he waits by the window and wonders at the empty place inside.
Annihilation is all we are.
Annihilation.